Okay, so welcome to biology tutoring. This week we're going to be going over human anatomy and their systems. So the first system is the nervous system. This nervous system is the major controlling, regulatory, and communicating system in your body. It guides what you think and say or feel and the essential functions of breathing and blinking. It's almost like a command center. The nervous system uses neurons as a messenger to send signals all over your body to your brain. For example, to tell your brain if you are in pain when you touch a hot pan. There are many different neurons for different purposes. Motor neurons will tell muscles to move. Sensory neurons will take information from your your five senses, sight, smell, touch, hear, and taste to send to your brain. Other ones are automatic, like having a heartbeat or shivering from the cold. The nervous system also has two main parts, the central nervous system, or the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. The CNS is made up of the brain and the spinal cord because it is at the center of your body. Responsible for taking in foods and liquids and breaking them into substances for the body to digest. It's made of the GI tract, liver, pancreas, and gallbladder, which you can see in the diagram on the right. And the GI tract is made up of all hollow organs of the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the anus. Digestion is important to get nutrients into your body and to get energy. Your system will break down and absorb the nutrients you consume for energy, growth, and repairing. The muscular system is responsible for the movement of the human body, and there are three different types of muscles: the visceral muscle, the cardiac muscle, and the skeletal muscles. Visceral muscles are found inside the organs of the stomach, intestines, and blood vessel. These are the weakest muscles and are known as involuntary muscles because they cannot be controlled by the conscious mind. The cardiac muscle is only found in the heart and is used for pumping blood into your body. It's also an involuntary muscle. The skeletal muscles are the only voluntary muscles which are controlled consciously in order to move the human body, so it activates when you run, speak, and write. And fun fact about the muscular system, it takes more muscles to frown than smile.
Main functions of endocrine system. Vital hormones are created by the endocrine system. If the system is not creating the correct amount of hormones, it can lead to long-term health issues. These hormones are sent through the bloodstream to different parts of the body. By sending messages, the body uses them to control various functions. The endocrine system controls how much hormone gets released. It works to maintain the right balance, so not too much or too little gets released.
The immune system protects your body from outside invaders. These include germs such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and toxins, which are chemicals made by microbes. The immune system is made up of different organs, cells, and proteins that work together. So there are two main parts of the immune system: the innate immune system, which is what you're born with, and this is made up the skin, the eyes, cornea, and mucous membranes that line the respiratory, gastrointestinal, and tracts. So these create physical barriers to help protect your body. The adaptive immune system is what you develop when your body is exposed to microbes, and this is made up of special proteins called antibodies to protect your body from a specific invader. So these two immune systems work together to protect your body.
Right. The cardiovascular system is responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to the entire body as well as removing waste. Your cells rely on your cardiovascular system to obtain the nutrients they require to function properly. That's why it's critical to look after your heart with exercise, a good diet, and blood pressure and cholesterol control. Your cardiovascular system, also known as your circulatory system, is made of your hearts and numerous blood veins throughout your body. In addition, your heart uses a large, complicated network of blood arteries to transfer oxygen and other essentials throughout your body. This network also removes unnecessary items from your body and transports them to organs that can dispose of the garbage. Blood transports oxygen, nutrients, and waste throughout the body. These are our works cited. Thank you for listening.
So, all right, this week in chemistry, we're going to be learning about acids and bases. So, just a warning, this is, in my opinion, the hardest part about chemistry. So if there's any confusions, make sure to send questions from the video into the Google form or see if your question gets answered later. So starting before talking about acids and bases, we need to learn something called pH and pOH. So these two are very close together. So pH is a number between 1 to 14 that is derived from knowing the concentration of H plus. In this case, H plus stands for H3O plus ions in an acid or a base solution. pOH is also a number from 0 to 14, derived from knowing the concentration of OH minus ions in an acid or base solution. So there's a very quite complicated equation, so you would probably need a scientific calculator to do this, but we will calculate pH by taking negative log. Log is log, so you type a number, you hit the log button, that'll give you the log of a number of negative log of the concentration of H plus. So remember, we've gone over the term moles, so that's what you're looking for, like moles of hydronium. Hydronium is the right word. H3O plus ion. So you're looking for a number that says H3O plus in moles or OH minus in moles to calculate pH or pOH. One thing to remember, at a standard temperature and pressure, pH, the value, plus pOH will always equal to 14, and that water always has a pH and a pOH of 7 at standard temperature and pressure. That's where we got the added always equals to 14. And now, once we have the basic knowledge of pH and pOH, we'll go into acids and bases. This week is just a basic overview. So acids are a solution with a pH less than 7. So if you see here, 7 is pure water. Anything below that will be an acid. So now you know your own saliva is actually mostly slightly acidic. So how does that work, right? So if the smaller the pH value is, the larger the concentration of H plus ions. So how does that actually work, right? So an acid, you can like mix it with water and it'll dissolve in the water into an H plus. This time is a hydrogen plus, so it's just a proton. There's a hydrogen plus and the rest of it. So that hydrogen plus is going to then react with the H2O or the water that it's mixing in, and that'll create your H3O plus that we calculate in the negative log H plus concentration for pH. So bases work in the opposite direction. Instead of adding the H plus to the water, they're taking away H plus. Thus, that makes the pH larger. So in that situation, a lot of the water molecules will change into an OH minus. So obviously, right, more OH minus, sorry, I should say increased pH, decreasing pOH. So more OH minus will decrease the pOH and increase pH. Why? Because we're taking the negative log, not the positive log.
Okay, finally we have conjugates. So when an acid reacts with a base, it forms a conjugate base and conjugate acid. So conjugate means the opposite of, so an acid and its conjugate base or a base and its conjugate acid will be opposites of each other. A conjugate base is formed when a conjugate acid is formed when a base accepts an H plus ion. So for example, a base of
And then That's like a basic overview of acids and their conjugate bases, bases and their conjugate acids. So this is when it gets really complicated. So next lesson we'll be continuing into this topic. We'll mainly teach you the difference between strong acids, strong bases, weak bases. And also probably go a lot deeper into conjugates because those are very important. And then we'll also describe a new term called a buffer. So if you have any confusions, which I'm pretty sure you will, there's always the form at the bottom of the YouTube video. And if not, you can wait and see if the next lesson will answer your questions. And then you can ask more questions then. And thank you, and we'll see you next lesson.